Other people have a payroll product. And I often wonder, why don't we? Why it's such an easy lead-in when you're handling someone's credit card processing, or I set up somebody's POS that does payroll, with employee, we talk about this feature in my point of sale that handles their payroll uploading or whatever. And so then we sat down with JetPay and Peter Davidson, who's here today, and we really came together. They had acquired, I don't want to take his team, but just so happens that they acquired one of the largest payroll companies in the country. I don't know what, he'll tell you how big they were, but that launched them into the payroll processing business. And they just sort of merged with this big, up by, Allentown, Pennsylvania, the kind of the Lehigh Valley area. But we're so happy now that we're able to partner with them and be able to offer payroll services, because it is a great way to increase your residual income. There's a residual aspect to this, which is all the products we're presenting here have that opportunity to it. But I don't want to take any more wind out of the sail here. I'd like to give a warm welcome to Mr. Peter Davidson from JetPay. Come on up.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everybody. Who here likes to make money?
Oh yeah.
Is that why we're here? Well, this is an additional opportunity for you to make money. And I think one of the differences is that you're out there beating your heads every day against all the other competition for the point of sale opportunities and so forth. But there's an opportunity that every single business you walk into has, and that's payroll. And payroll is more than that. So every business pretty much needs payroll that has an employee, and that's over 6 million of them that are out there. They basically fall into 3 categories. You have the little guys that may have 1 or 2 people, that some of them pay themselves, to use their own payroll kinds of things. Some of them will use an Intuit or whatever. But most of the businesses use a payroll company and a healthcare management company. We'll talk about that in a minute. And payroll seems to be a simple business. People look at it and say, you know what, all it is like calculating pay and so forth. It's not. It's an extremely complex business. And most of the payroll companies out there don't do it well. And I'm including the big ones. I'm including the big ones are ADP, Paychex, Ceridian, Intuit, which is the QuickBooks kind of thing. You've got now Paycor, Paylocity, Paycom, some other big ones that are starting to make noise in the marketplace. Their service is horrible. Their customer service rating is a step above, just a tiny step above, cable companies from a business satisfaction perspective. So there's a lot of opportunity out there. If you can come out, and our reputation for quality, it's not as much a price game as a quality game, because an employer is worried about their people getting paid and getting paid accurately. And the moment you mess that up is the moment there's a real problem. And they also have a problem making sure taxes get paid and get paid accurately, because that comes back to the bottom line. They can get sued. We're one of the few companies out there that do all of those extremely, extremely well. The other thing that's happening is, I don't know what's going on there.
Sorry.
The sky's the limit.
It's okay. Yeah, that's okay. The other thing that's not happening is the world of payroll is changing. In the old days, and up until a couple of years ago, payroll was done by a payroll person. So you normally have a payroll manager who was in there. They were doing the same thing, making sure the payroll got out and so forth. Well, the world has changed in payroll. Now you have a whole bunch of regulations. You have the Affordable Care Act. You have a lot more regulation around compliance, whether it be poster compliance, whether it be recruiting compliance, hiring compliance, and the mistakes and the cost of making those mistakes. You have a lot more reporting you have to do to the government. Your INS stuff is very difficult. So all of a sudden, that's created for a larger employer, somebody with 50 or more employees, a much more difficult task. And yet they expect the same person who is doing payroll to do that. They don't have the tools. They don't know what they're doing. They have no idea where they're going. So we've created a set of tools called human capital management tools that help them to figure out how to do their job. It gives them the tools. So they instead of having to go and hire a really expensive person to handle a 50-person or 100-person or 300-person payroll, we now have these tools that help them. The good news about that is, whereas a normal payroll, a normal average payroll customer, their revenue total for the year might be $2,400. with you take that same customer and you might be talking $10,000 or $15,000 for somebody with human capital management services and requirements. So that, there's a couple different things we have. So we have a great program, high quality for those that are smaller. We can do people with 1 to 1,000 employees, we can do 1 to 1,500 employees, but the ones to 25 or 30 or 40, we do with a very simple, high-quality program. The ones when you get 50 above, we have a high-quality service program that helps them do their job a lot better. So I'm not going to go through these, but we have all of the standard products that you need. We have great time and attendance system, hiring, onboarding, all of your compliance stuff, Affordable Care Act reporting, all the things that people would be looking for. And the service, as I said, is unparalleled. It's amazing the number of people we have who leave us for whatever reason or other to go to an ADP or a Paychex. We get 60% of them back within a year because they go and they find out that it's much more important than saving $20 a month. It's much more important to make sure your payroll gets out right and that people get paid the way they're supposed to get paid. And we have our tool is very simple for people to use. It's very easily to integrate into, as we talked about, we've done it in a couple of POS devices. It's very simple portal for your employers to use to come in and manage their employees and get the information reporting that they need to do that. So, what's the challenge? How do you find the right candidate for when you're hiring people? Well, we have a solution for that. We have a whole process of how they can go out, recruit people, make sure they meet all the requirements, make sure they do all the right things about diversity hiring and take care of all the EEOC kind of stuff. People are processing payroll in-house. That's a danger, especially when you get to 50 or more people because they don't know the regulations. They're not keeping up with the things. They're going to get themselves in trouble. And then finally, the inputting and accessing information. Again, we make it simple to do. So we solve a lot of problems that businesses have today and make it simple and easy for them to do, and make it easy for you to do this as well. So how much can you make? I mean, what's in it for you guys to go out there? Well, in a traditional payroll, we pay 25% of all top-line revenue, and it's on a residual basis. So, for instance, a 15-employee company, you make approximately $300 a year. On a 35-employee company, you can make $700 a year. But now, when you get to your human capital management, which is the higher-end product, which is need for the larger employees, you can make a lot more. We pay only 10% of the employee cost there, but as you can see, it's a lot higher. So you might make $900 a year for a 50-employee company, but you can make $12,000 a year if you had a 1,000-employee company. So we're talking about real money if you get some of the big ones. And the big ones are harder to get. But the good news is you're out there talking to people every day. The other part is we're not asking you to become payroll experts. All you really need to do is go out and listen to your customer, find out or prospect, which should both include your existing customers as well as prospects when you're calling on people. All you need to do is listen to them, get some basic information, find out if they're looking, and many of them are. You usually find as many as 15 to 20% at any given time are looking for a new payroll or thinking about a new payroll. So we're asking you to pull that together, put together a referral sheet that we have online that you would just go in, fill out the referral sheet. We take it from there. We basically take care of the whole process. So we will go out, we have inside experts who will call the customer, they'll walk them through the payroll, get all the data and information they need, provide them with a quote, get them a sale. So this is basically, you can make a lot of money just by putting referrals together. And so it really is that easy to do it. So basically, all you need to do is contact us, and we will set up a webinar to train you and train your people. So as I said, it's easy to set up, it's easy to do. We look at the number of people in this room, and if you have 1,000 merchants, 1,500 merchants, 2,000, just those people alone can make you a ton of money. Plus, every day you're out there calling. When you're calling on somebody and they say, I'm sorry, I don't really, you're the 5th credit card person I've had this day. Okay, well, what about your payroll? Are you really happy? When was the last time you had a mistake in your payroll? And in many cases, that will happen. And when was the last time you had a problem getting hold of your payroll person? One of the things that we do, which is different from that, is in ADP or Paychex, somebody calls in with a problem, and there's always problems. They get a call center. They have no idea who they're talking to. The people they're talking to don't even know the customer. Every single customer of ours is assigned to an individual rep. So they get the same person every time. So if recurring problems, issues, they know who they're going to talk to. And granted, they can't talk to them all the time because they go on vacations, sick days, so they have a little team that works together. But basically, each person is assigned to a rep, so they get the same person. And I know it's hard to sell service. That's, most people, they want to know price, they want to do product features. We have the product features, we have the price, but more important, we have service, and that really does make a difference. And after a while, if you get a few people out there and they realize what that means, the ability to refer and cross-refer is even more tremendous. So I thank you very much. We're here. Feel free to ask any questions, and I look forward to working with you.
One question, so how, for example, if someone's using QuickBooks Payroll,
Right,
where everything automatically uploads into QuickBooks,
right.
how do you upload, take care of your payroll, how do you get it into QuickBooks just to
Oh, we do it. We have an automatic update into QuickBooks. In fact, we have automatic updates into almost all of the normal ERP softwares, like the Sage stuff and so
You
forth.
do have Sage?
I believe we do, yes.
So again, any further questions? He's set up right here at our booth right here, Peter. And again, another great opportunity. I'm thinking about all the missed opportunities to just ask the question, who are you currently using for your payroll? Are you happy with them? Or would you be interested if we could save you some money and maybe give you some better service? Just fill out this form as I'm writing them up on my POS sale. Just adding that on for an extra $500 or $1,000 a year. Why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I? But my question is, what kind of, when we send this referral to you, do we have in our contract making sure that you guys sell this stuff, that your inside rep isn't going to talk to them about credit card processing?
We're protected.
We're protected contractually for all you skeptics there about giving my merchant information to JetPay.
Well,
believe me, we're protected. They're not going to solicit any other products or sell that merchant to anybody else, third party. We've got that all covered in our agreement. So just wanted for all you skeptics out there. So anyways, go see Peter. It's a great product. Thank you.